I would have done that before I started creeping. It helps make the creeping more efficient, which is one of the great things about the Circlet of Nobility. You really can't, don't underestimate how much a Circlet adds to your Blademaster, compared to a Ring of Protection, compared to Claws of Attack, whatever. The way to really test it is if you get a Ring of Protection versus a Circlet of Nobility. The level 1 Blademaster can't really solo an Ogre Magi on, for example, Echo Isles, the center Magi, whereas with the Ring of Protection, you can. Or, for example, in Secret Valley, if you have 2 Rings of Protection, you can solo the Magi there too. Anyways, he checks out my base, and he cannot get in. I think he's even going to say he's going to compliment me on my base build, I think. Yeah, there you go, nice build order, nice base. Whereas looking at his base, I chose to creep before I harassed, which was unfortunate, because otherwise I would have got this burrow. But regardless, I'm able to harass his base, and he's not able to harass mine. Things go south for me in that I've decided to creep with my grunts without knowing where his Blademaster was. I knew where his grunts were, but not his Blademaster. So that's actually going to cost me this 1 grunt here, as my Blademaster goes to buy a Staff of Teleportation, because I'd like to save my 2nd grunt, which I notice is also weak. I teleport into the wood block, so I've actually trapped my Blademaster as well. Really poor play on my part. I'm not exactly happy about that, but luckily the block is broken just as he comes in. He does manage to get this 2nd grunt and teleport out with 15 health. So looking at our experience, he's actually got, I think he has more experience than me now. We're about even on experience, but I'm 2 grunts down, and I didn't manage to kill a single peon. All I did really was weaken a burrow, which is very unfortunate, and his Shadowhunter is actually coming out before mine. So now I'm 2 grunts down. I've already explained to you that chances are, if you're delayed the way Zayat was, you should be pressing. And the reason for that is that you had an equal, like Zayat, in Zayat's game, he had an equal army, essentially, 4 grunts, a level 3 Blademaster, and a Shadowhunter. But he couldn't hope to win the fight any longer, because Grubby's army was going to be superior the longer the game went on, because Grubby's tier 2 wasn't delayed. In this case, my tier 2 is not delayed, but my grunts, I don't have the 4 grunts that Zayat had, and I'm versus an opponent who does have 4 grunts. So the best I can hope to do is make up the deficit by out-creeping my opponent, and playing more aggressive with my Blademaster level 3. So you notice while he's healing up, I'm creeping for level 3. The creeps I'm choosing to creep drop Blademaster items. That's kind of relevant to note. Both the creeps I'm creeping now and the gold mine creeps south of me drop Blademaster items, as do the Goblin Lab creeps. And by Blademaster items, I mean claws, circlet, gloves, etc. So anyways, he's choosing to pressure, which isn't a bad decision on his part, because he knows he has a grunt advantage. And you'll notice he bought the Potion of Healing. But anyways, interesting choice on his part nonetheless. Whereas I'm harassing with my Blademaster and creeping with my Shadowhunter. That's not something I can keep up for very long, though, because those creeps have poison damage, and because he's attacking my base. The first raider comes out, and the first thing I do is move it south, because I want to avoid it getting hexed and killed. Losing your first raider really puts you at a disadvantage, because it means you'll have a snare later. So anyways, interestingly, he chose not to creep BM level 3, so he's versed my Blademaster level 3, which gets a considerable speed boost. You'll notice I put the grunt in front to try and block the Shadowhunter there. Didn't really work. You might be wondering why I'm right-clicking a Shadowhunter. First of all, it's because I got there first, to his Shadowhunter first. I was windwalked and I saw it exposed, whereas he did not see my Shadowhunter before. And also because he didn't have a raider. If I had focused a grunt, for example, he would have hexed and focused my Shadowhunter. So that's unfortunate, and that's what that's why I did what I did. You'll notice there he surrounded my my Shadowhunter. A very good move on his part, and he kills that pretty quickly. I tried to pass the Staff of Teleportation, but I did that too late. My Walker comes out before his Walker comes out, because he chose to build his Spirit Lodge, I guess, north of his base, because he did it a little later for some reason. So I get Spirit Link, and at that point it's a dangerous fight for him, especially because he ran his Raider away because it was low HP. So looking at food counts now, I'm actually up in food. I made up the deficit. I killed the Shadow Hunter, which is, it's a nice advantage to kill the Shadow Hunter as well, because your Shadow Hunter gets experience, whereas his does not. Another thing I did, and this was a conscious decision on my part, and I don't always advocate it, but in this situation it seemed prudent, I built a second walker before I researched the Adept training. And the reason, there are a few reasons why I do this occasionally. I would never do this for a Self, for example, because you need Dispel versus Talons. But Dispel's not incredibly useful versus Orc. The extra mana is useful, but having 2 walkers adds a lot of magic damage to your army. And it gives you that much extra Spirit Link mana early on. So it'll even itself out, I hope, once I research Adept training on the walkers. Anyways, with my Blademaster level 3, and I'm pretty sure his is yet to reach level 3. Oh, he's reached level 3, I'm sorry. With my Blademaster level 3, I send myself once again to his exposed the peons, which are gold mining. Really all it does is force him to keep his blade in his base, and while he's doing that, I'm creeping with my Shadow Hunter, so I've got the level 2 before him actually, and I got Sentry Wards, which is a really nice drop to get. The first one you'll notice I put down at my base. That may seem like a waste because you can already see your base, but if they ever bring the Blademaster in, and you'll notice my base is open now, it's very useful to be able to see it and have your burrows actually be able to attack. The other Sentry Ward I placed next to his creeps. If I had more mana, I would have gone and cancelled some of these salves and all that, but I did not. Oh, sorry, that's not my Sentry Ward next to his creeps. That was his Sentry Ward. He also got a Sentry Ward drop. Anyways, one thing I've noted, I was forced him to creep with his Blademaster near, so that took away some of the experience from his Shadow Hunter, which means his Shadow Hunter is not even level 2, whereas if you go and check mine, I'm almost level 3. And I'm very aware of the fact that he's on his side of the map, and his Shadow Hunter is much lower level than mine. And he's got delayed walkers, so if you look at his base, he's only got 1 walker. So I'm definitely in a position of attack right now. I'm about to get level 2 wave, which is a big advantage. I've bought 2 heal scrolls, and you'll notice I'm bringing my peons up. The reason the peons are coming, because I'm choosing to be aggressive, I'll be fighting on his side of the map, and if I don't bring peons, he can easily bring his own peons, and all that does, not only does that add, a little bit of extra damage and a lot of extra meat, but Spirit Link, there's that much more Spirit Link, which makes his army that much more effective, until I dispel it. So, anyways, if you'll notice, I'm fighting with 49 food versus 50 food, so it's even armies, but I have a better Shadow Hunter. He's chosen to go with 2 Kodos, which is actually not a terrible decision on his part, since his walkers were delayed. In the fight, the first thing I do is ensnare the 1 Kodo to make sure that doesn't come near me. I had wasted ensnare on a grunt or something that I was focusing, so I hexed the 2nd Kodo. The peons are in. He's dispelled Spirit Link, so I should be recasting Spirit Link pretty soon, hopefully. Shadow, yeah, there it is. Waves going, healing wave going off on anything that's weak. And then basically my biggest concern, if you notice whenever one of his Kodos gets free, the first thing I do is check which units are around it, and then ensnare the Kodo as fast as possible. If there's a loose unit around it, I move it away from the Kodo. You do not want to get your raiders devoured. He also chose to bring the peons in very late, which means he's fighting at a great Spirit Link disadvantage, which is in my favor. And now basically his Kodos do no damage. They die very quickly to Raider Focus Fire, and he's pretty much aware that it's good game. So that's a pretty, I wouldn't call that textbook example, but if I was to teach someone who really had no idea how to play Blademaster Orc Mirror, I would say creep for level 2 on this map right away. Harass if you can, otherwise keep creeping. Don't lose grunts when your Shadow Hunter comes out. Creep for level 3 as fast as possible on that, providing, of course, that he's not being aggressive, or that you don't have an advantage, and then you can't be aggressive. If you have an advantage, of course, you can press it.